So, Britannia Challenge Cup for the first time today. Stratford-upon-Avon against St Andrew Boat Club. In the white and blue, St Andrew on the buck station. Initially, it looked a little more sluggish, but they've soon put that right, and now they look like the more powerful boat.
They've woken up now. Well, the first few strokes, both crews going really hard and aggressive off the start. The next 50, 100 metres, they'll be settling into their race rhythm. Can we join them about 100 metres and 150 metres into the race?
Another tight race. The racing should get tighter as the regatta progresses. Just see the head there of the Cox, Helena Watson, nearest to the camera in the white boat. And joining the action live, it is on the buck station St Andrew Boat Club in the white and blue, who have created a lead, although it's not going to be that comfortable, is it? Because Stratford-upon-Avon, 3/4 of a length down, perhaps?
Yes, that. And we're approaching the half-mile mark, so Remmenham Farm. Not quite halfway yet.
You see the Hambledon Valley in the background, past Temple Island. They've left that behind. And now they're heading down towards where we are on the finish line, near Henley Bridge, upstream.
Interesting, Stratford-upon-Avon had a really close race yesterday. They were only won by Canvas over an American crew from Riverside, whereas St Andrews had the easier race against Cirque de Nautique. And although their race was probably 10 or 15 seconds slower than Stratford, so I wonder if that will have an impact.
Well, at the moment, St Andrew lead by exactly a length. They had a little surge there, Stratford-upon-Avon, reduced it to half a length, but St Andrew threw something back at them. Helena Watson. Difficult for these coxes who are in the junior fours and some of these events, the Britannia Challenge Cup being one of them. They're in many ways in the wrong place, aren't they, to gauge what the opponents are doing. They've got a great view of the river, and for steering purposes it's perfect, but in terms of monitoring what the opponents are doing, very difficult.
It is indeed. With fours you can have a stern or bow loaded cox, and they have pros and cons for both. With the cox and the front, it's the bow, they can see, and actually it's the what are their crew doing, and they can't see what their crew are doing, they can't see what the other crew are doing. And of course the cox, the steering is a tiny proportion of what the cox does. All the motivational and the psychological part of their job, which is a really, really key bit, and that's hard to do from a bow loader if you can't see what the crew behind you are doing. You can feel it and you can sense it, you've got a bit of an idea, but you can see what the blades are doing. It's really tricky.
No excuses for getting the steering wrong, though.
Oh, it's been done.
Not in this race. It's so far so good for Helena Watson of St Andrew Boat Club and Eleanor Willits as well of Stratford-upon-Avon. Helena Watson, you can see there in the front of the St Andrew boat, bow-loaded cox as discussed. And in the bow seat, Gregor Maxwell, 23-year-old Gregor Maxwell, Kieran Tierney, Graham Ord and Finlay Radley as well, who are in that boat with Helena Watson. And they are enjoying a lead now of a length or so.
A little bit more now. It looks like they're slowly squeezing away from Stratford-upon-Avon. Even more impressive, so we were talking earlier that they've had to change sides, whereas some rowers tend to stick on one side. If you see these because you only have one oar, then you can strike either with the oar on the left, which is bow side, or on the right, which is stroke side. And if some people can do both, some people tend to stick to one, but to be forced to swap, if it's not your thing, is a really quite a tricky thing to do. So as it makes their if you look now, it's how well they're rowing together, really nicely synchronised. Doing a really good job.
Second in Elite Cox Fours at the Metropolitan Regatta, followed by a win in the B final of the same event at Marlow Regatta as well, this crew. Also Scottish national champions in the Cox Four as well, St Andrew Boat Club.
It's the first Henley Royal Regatta crew, apparently.
Yes. Kieran Tierney on the Prince Albert with Edinburgh last year in the two-seat. The oldest amateur rowing club in Scotland, St Andrews Boat Club.
They're really nice together. They give away a stone a man to the crew as well. They're much, much lighter. Average weight of 13 stone 2 compared to Stratford's 14.4.
Yeah, good spot that.
Well, particularly in these boats, cox boats, because obviously carrying the cox weight an extra per person, so weight often makes a big difference.
So towards the finish they go. St Andrews Boat Club just about there. Well done to Stratford-upon-Avon as well. They've performed well this week. I've seen them a couple of times up until today, and they've looked competitive, as indeed they were just now. But that's it for them in the Britannia Challenge Cup. It's all about St Andrews Boat Club, the oldest boat club in Scotland, staying in Henley for the weekend.